Fun FM, WXVU, Villanova student-run radio, The Roar. As always, this is Fun in the Locker Room, your greatest and latest sports show of all time. It's coming to you from Villanova University, 1:07 p.m. On this beautiful Wednesday. We're in May now, May 3rd, 2023, coming to the end of the semester. I think we have 2 shows left, just one today and one next week, so make sure you tune in to see and listen to all of our great takes. There's a lot going on the world of sports right now, so make sure to tune in and listen to all of our great takes. A lot going on in the NBA, MLB, and NFL draft just happened, so we have a lot to talk about there. And yeah, again, we have our great guest co-host that has come on a couple times throughout the show, Jordan Alvarado. Jordan, how you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me. Happy to be here once again. Always a pleasure.
Jordan is one of our great basketball experts. So, with the NBA playoffs, we're now in the second round. We're finished the first round of the NBA playoffs, so we have a lot to talk about. Obviously, we have a lot of series to recap, and then a lot of current series going on. Resident Knicks fan, too, so I'm sure he'll give some great takes about the Knicks Heat series, which is tied at 1-1. Later in the show, we'll talk about Embiid winning MVP and give some of the stats, facts, and takes about that, NFL draft and MLB if we have time for that. But I think one of the more pressing things going on in the world of sports is the NBA playoffs. So let's recap the series that have ended since we last talked on the show, which is Heat Bucks. I think only one series had ended but last week, which was Philadelphia versus the Nets, which was a sweep, as we all know.
The Nuggets series also ended.
The Nuggets, yes, the Nuggets one had ended. So we have 5 left. No, missing one. We have 5 series to talk about, so let's get straight into it. Probably the biggest upset and the most shocking series of the playoffs so far, Heat Bucks, and that ended in 5. With Miami winning 4-1 in overtime, even with Giannis playing. Let's just go around and talk about our reactions from that series, because I think we're all stunned, to say the least. But whoever wants to go first, jump in.
So when we gave our predictions, I guess a couple shows ago, about what were happening in these series, I think we all felt that you guys both thought it was going 5, but I thought that Jimmy Butler probably gave the most problems to Giannis that not anybody, but a lot of teams in the NBA playoffs could. And he definitely caused a problem. Jimmy Butler is a different player in the playoffs. We've seen it time and time again. He elevates his game as much as he doesn't want to be called playoff Jimmy, but he becomes a different animal in the playoffs, and he proved it once again. And he put on a show. He carried this team. He did everything. There's nothing more he could do, and they just played really well, and they won the series. They were a better team in the series.
I totally agree with you, Rank. I just want to give a shout-out to Eric Spoelstra. He outcoached Mike Budenholzer in every single facet of the game. That last fourth quarter where the Bucks were up, 15-something points, didn't score a field goal until the final 2 minutes of the quarter. It was just a Budenholzer disaster class. He was letting Giannis kind of drive to the paint every single time, and it was so obvious that they weren't going to get a good shot there. Giannis had the ball the last 5-something possessions and was just taking terrible shots. Meanwhile, Spoelstra's drawing up this play where Jimmy's cutting baseline, 2 guys follow him, and Mason Plumlee's wide open under the hoop. I think it was just a combination of poor coaching on the Bucks, Giannis trying to take over, and then just Jimmy Butler absolutely in the zone, as well as Eric Spoelstra just teeing up plays for him to be successful. And the Heat they looked like they wanted it more. I know, and I think it was they did a jump ball with 30 seconds left or something in the game. Giannis gets it and hot potatoes it almost out of bounds. Could have been a game-losing turnover there if Middleton didn't save it, but the Heat just wanted it more.
One thing I've really noticed with this Bucks team is how they have really failed to adjust through adversity, whether that be injuries, whether that be Mike Budenholzer not making the right, like Liam was saying, right plays down the stretch. Obviously with Giannis going out a game or two, I'm not gonna lie. I thought that they would be fine still. I thought they had a lot of talent, a lot of depth, but clearly that wasn't the case. Middleton didn't look like himself, and I felt like they just crumbled under the intensity and the sharpness of the Heat. Yes, Jimmy was insane, but I mean they had a lot of key role players that stepped up. Including most shocking to me, Caleb Martin. Quite honestly, Caleb Martin was very shocking to me. I never thought he would be getting key plays down the stretch in a playoff game. I thought he was gonna struggle to get rotation minutes on any roster when he first joined the league, and now look at him. So, while I'm shocked on both ends, one because I wouldn't say shocked on the Bucks. We've seen year after year them kind of struggle. They've kind of struggled when they're not at full strength, because I mean they're such a good regular season team, and then when shit hits when things hit the fan every once in a while, they kind of struggle to adjust. But the Heat are the exact opposite. I feel like they are very, very tough, and they're able to adjust really, really well and keep their mental toughness in the game.
Yeah, I agree with all the points you guys have made so far. I think a couple of takeaways that I had, especially since we last talked, I don't know if we mentioned on the show last time that the Bucks were still plus 110 to win the series, even though down 3-1. And I think had like the fourth best odds to win the final still, which just shows that Vegas and the people that are making the odds really had a lot of faith in the Bucks as a roster, as an organization, and Giannis as an MVP. But clearly, Jimmy Butler, following up that 56-point game with 42, again, highly efficient, is just ridiculous. And I don't know if we're ready to have this conversation about Jimmy being top 4, maybe top 3 playoff performer in Heat history, given the finals and the bubble. And this, I don't know if people are ready to have that conversation, but I think in my mind he might have skyrocketed past Chris Bosh. Besides that Chris Bosh, clutch rebound in the finals. But another thing you were talking about, Caleb Martin. I think Kevin Love was just an underrated pickup for them. Honestly, until this series, I had kind of forgotten that they picked him up off waivers at the deadline. But his rebounding, his floor spacing. I might have mentioned to you guys a stat that's I think really cool. Since 2015, the league leaders in outlet passes, it's tied between Jokic and Kevin Love, which I think is just a crazy stat, and it just shows that. I mean, we've all seen the Kevin Love highlights of him throwing LeBron insane passes in Cleveland, but even at this age, when his hair and beard are almost entirely gray, he's still delivering crazy clutch plays. And back to Jimmy Butler, I really liked the play that there was a quote that came out that he told Spoelstra on that play where he should they were trying to tie the game up to go in OT, and it was drawn for someone else. He said, no, give it to me. And it was a crazy acrobatic shot that honestly just should not have gone in, but it just shows Jimmy Butler is a man of the moment. And then the last thing I want to say about this series is, and I'd love to hear you guys' opinion on this, really didn't like the Giannis quote in the post game about failure. I understand it's a total growth mindset and everything, and you can't look at things like failures, but I think if you would ask a lot of the NBA greats, going out in this way, I think you have to be humble and admit that given the expectations, given the roster, given what the organization has invested in you and your team, and especially what you've done in the past, I think this season is a failure. Yes, you were injured a couple games if you're honest at this point, and yes, Jimmy Butler had an insanely historic stretch of games, but losing to the 8th seed at the end of the day at face value is kind of a failure in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what the Bucks do in this offseason, because I think a lot of people want Mike Budenholzer fired, considering his terrible late game coaching and the fact that he completely got out-coached by Eric Spoelstra with his team around him. But I wonder if this is more indicative of Giannis. Are we concerned about him and the Bucks moving forward? Can they? I know he did win the one championship, but historically they've also choked a lot of times in the postseason. Can he lead this team? Is Middleton the problem? Is Drew Holiday the problem? I don't know what the Bucks can do to try to get themselves over that hump. Because you look at them on paper and they're just ridiculously good. They got 3 great guys, great defenders, great offensive players. I just don't see what they need to do to improve. Is it just luck? Is it just what is it? I guess.
I think they need more playmakers. As crazy as that sounds, I think they're just too one-dimensional. When I watch them play, they rely a lot on, okay, Giannis is going to, he's going to get the attention of 3-4 guys on a single drive, and they're going to kick out to the many shooters that they have. But, with that comes with, hey, if we're not hitting shots, if Giannis can't get things going, what are we going to have? Middleton's has been a huge shot maker in his career, but, you can't always rely on that. A lot of their key role guys, they're great. While they're great shooters, I don't really trust their decision making. I mean, you have Grayson Allen doing a Euro step with a second left. You got to have better awareness than that. And I don't really trust their playmaking outside of their core three.
Is the key to get the ball out of Giannis' hands, of him playing more back to the basket, him more down low, him less driving? Because I feel like a lot of the times when he was driving to the paint, the Heat were throwing many bodies at him in the paint, stopping him or throwing him on the ground, injuring him, things like that, which I feel like is an unsustainable way for him to play going forward. I think we talk about a lot of players like that, and considering his size, it's even more of an issue for him.
Yeah, I don't think Giannis. I think Giannis would benefit greatly by not being a primary ball handler. I mean, there's a lot of times where even I play from time to time, and as a guard, where hey, this person's gonna bring it up, he's gonna get the offense going. I need to then know how to cut, read, come off a handoff, and get opportunities based on what someone else is already giving me. And I think he can greatly benefit from that, just coming off of getting a step on a guy, just going off a simple cut or simple read, a simple handoff into, okay, now all I have to do is take one dribble, take 2 steps, and be the freak that I am in Giannis. So, I don't think it's very smart for him to, okay, let's ISO, let's see if he can make a move. That's not always what he needs to do.
I just want to address the question about, like, what do you do in the offseason? I think I'm not going to speak on the Budenholzer thing because I'm not really sure too much about that, but I think this was just kind of a case of a really bad matchup. I mean, in the last 4 years, the Bucks have played the Heat 3 times and lost 2 of those series. I think the Heat is they're just a bad matchup for the Bucks in general. Because I remember in the bubble when the Heat went to the finals, the Heat pulled off the upset on the Bucks, and that was, I mean, obviously shocking. Not as shocking to this degree, but I think it's just a really bad matchup for them, and maybe you just run it back. You do have a really good core. You have a could-have-been Depoy and Brook Lopez in addition to those that big 3. Maybe you bolster the role players. I think a lot of role players like Jay Crowder didn't really pan out. He didn't really get any minutes in the series, and I know that was supposed to be a big addition for them. You lost your P.J. Tucker in the offseason. Maybe you can find a way to replace that. But I think you just kind of run it back and try and bolster the supporting cast and just pray to God that the Heat either don't make the playoffs or you don't play them in the first round, going forward. I don't think this is too much of a concern. This is just kind of a bad series for them, in my opinion. I don't think this is really a red alarm.
They're lucky Tyler Hero didn't play because they would have got swept.
You think so?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The fact that the only game they won was without Giannis on the court, which is also kind of funny.
That is kind of crazy.
Well, it was just like that last game. Giannis just missed free throw after free throw.
Yeah.
And he had so many chances to put the game away.
He needs to work on that.
That is a big thorn. I think he's gotten past the... Honestly, I think the free throw shooting is a bigger thorn to him than his three-point shooting, which is kind of I don't know if that's a crazy statement, but I think the free throw shooting was
They were just hacking
bad.
him at the
It
end.
was bad in that last game.
Whenever he got downhill, they just hack him, and they knew he's only going to make one at most.
Yep.
And he wasn't even making. He was going 0 for 2 most times. But I think Jordan nailed it on the head. He can't be your go-to primary playmaker in the final seconds because it's easy to defend him. He goes downhill, you throw 3 bodies at him, he's going to chuck up a turnaround fadeaway.
Yeah.
Just doesn't work.
That's not his
and
shot.
maybe
No.
maybe there was something off with Middleton was injured throughout the year. Drew Holiday might have not been
Everybody
the
had
best
hurt,
game.
though.
Bad series. He had
But
a bad
I think
series.
those the guys that are usually the playmakers, like you see in the finals when they won it. Drew Holiday was critical. Obviously, we know what Chris Middleton's going to do. He's going to get you to 20 to 25 points. But Drew Holiday, with his playmaking, was making life a lot easier for Giannis in those finals. So I think bad series for those two makes it look like a bad series for Giannis. Not that it wasn't, but it makes it look worse, and then it makes it look like the team, you're putting the balance is off, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, the Bucks defense just crumbled too. I mean,
Yeah.
Drew Holiday getting beat on. Jimmy Butler beat everybody on backdoors. Time after time after time, and they didn't make any adjustments. Last play, Brook Lopez isn't in the game either.
Yeah,
It's
and that's a great Spoelstra thing
absurd.
because he didn't put Bam. I don't know if there was like a ESPN thing that went around. Spoelstra didn't put Bam in, so Budenholzer didn't put Lopez in, and there's no rim protection. That's how Jimmy got that layup, or that whatever you want to call that floater shot.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But it'll be interesting to see. We'll talk about the Heat Knicks in a second. Let's move on to Celtics Hawks, which I think when we last talked, Trae Young had just hit that crazy shot. To kind of put a little bit of pressure on Boston, but then Boston ended up getting the Game 6 win to win in 6. I don't know if there's a tremendous amount to talk about in the series. Rank, you resident Celtics.
Yeah, there's not much. It went longer than I expected, but Trae Young's going to get his when he wants to. He's a great offensive player, and he made a great shot. But overall, it's wrap up in 6. I wish it would have been done earlier, but not this series itself. Not too much concern about anything.
I want to give a shout out to the Hawks for just keeping it close.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone expected it to go 6 games.
No.
In Game 6 they only lost by 8. They were probably the worst team in the playoffs. I don't think that's crazy to say. And the fact that they were able to put up a fight against the Celtics, who right now are they title favorites?
Yeah, they're the Vegas
title
favorites, yeah.
favorites. Pretty impressive.
Yeah, I think it was between them or the Nets, but that's not really fair to the Nets because if they had that roster all year, they probably wouldn't be a playoff team, so they don't really count. I think that's just the NBA. Then you might get a game or two when you have a superstar like Trae Young, but I don't think there was any real pressure against the Celtics. They kind of had that series from the jump, to be honest. It seemed like.
We don't have to open this conversation up too much, but the Hawks. I feel like this DeJounte Murray experiment went as far from planned as possible. And there's been a lot of talks about Trae Young getting traded. You have a lot of young pieces on this team. You got Collins, Capella, and Hunter, and Bogdanovich is still there. I don't really know. I guess briefly, I would ask, what are you going to do with this going forward if you're the GM?
This is very strange for me to think about because on paper you would think, okay, this team is solid. You have Trae Young, he's a superstar. DeJounte Murray is a former All-Star. He can play. Obviously, he could hoop. You have wing players that can see deep bay, can score the ball, can play defense. You have size, right? You have DeAndre Hunter as well. So you have both of those guys on the wing, Bogdanovich and a scrub. Then you have John Collins, who, he's proven that he could be a number 2 guy on a deep playoff push run. They did it a couple years ago. Clint Capella is a rebounding machine. Do I think he has any offensive game? No, but this roster shouldn't be as bad as is proven to be. I actually saw Atlanta. I actually saw them live play the Sixers at Wells Fargo, and at times I don't even think it's the talent. It's just the way that they play. I just don't like the way that they play. It doesn't seem like they play with an intensity that they need to play with. Maybe that's just the way that they follow the leader, and Trae is just always ice cold. He's very very nonchalant when he plays, and he doesn't necessarily have that tough fire that I need to see. He's very calm, which is good in a point guard and a superstar. But I don't think that's how everybody on the roster needs to play. And some of them need to humble themselves and play with a little bit more chip on their shoulder, maybe like a DeJounte Murray, because he's been a hothead in the past.
I don't think Trae Young could ever be the number 1 on the championship team.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah,
the size, the lack of defense,
such a liability on one side of the ball.
Yeah,
they just hunt him in the pick and roll, and the Hawks got to make a decision going forward because you made the Eastern Conference Finals, but that's kind of been it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, outside of that one run, it's looking. Like, if that one run wasn't happening, I think we'd be talking about this a lot more.
A lot differently. That's their ceiling with this roster, I think. I think they got to make changes. You guys are right.
And that was a hot team in that aspect.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about Knicks-Cavs, which ended in 5 with the New York Knicks beating the Cavs.
How about
106.
them Cavs?
What? Excuse me?
How about them Cavs?
How about them Cavs?
Are they still the second best team in the Eastern Conference?
That was never said.
That was said a long time ago,
Oh, yeah?
like 3 weeks into the season. But I chose the Cavs in this series. I just thought they were the better team.
Yeah, we did.
I'll admit when I'm wrong. The Cavs came out and they struggled offensively. We talked about how they were held to the lowest season at the time. I think the recent Phoenix Denver game might have broken that, but the lowest season total of the year. So, they struggled offensively. Give credit to the Knicks defense, but let's talk more about the Knicks. I mean, how about them Knicks, Jordan?
It's been really fun watching the Knicks in the playoffs. I mean, highest defensive rating in the playoffs before the second round. I haven't double-checked that number since. They have been nothing short of spectacular. First round, completely making the Cavs look silly, and I love it. I mean, listen, I went into it very nervous. I can't lie. Donovan Mitchell has proven to be a spectacular playoff performer. Not against the Knicks, though. Not against the Knicks. And I love to say it, and I love to see it. So, I mean, I honestly, I think it all starts at the top. The addition of Brunson. The addition of Brunson has helped us so much. It's so much more than the stat sheet will provide. Just being able to steer the ship, weather the storm when other teams are going on runs. We just needed that guy with a calm head, with the ball in his hands, that's not going to do something silly. I never trusted that for Randall. I mean, he's a forward. I mean, it's a different type of it's a different type of game. I don't want to see the other team going on a run and then Julius Randle taking a step back three. That's not what I want to see. And I think that we've done a lot better with our decision making with him. And quite honestly, a little shout out to Villanova, but Josh Hart has the same way. I feel like down the stretch, I'm very comfortable with those two making decisions for us because they're going to make the right basketball play. Whether it works out for us or doesn't, I feel like the right basketball play is made more often than not with those two guys on the floor. And Josh Hart again with defense. I mean, our rotations on defense have been really, really well. We'll get into this series a little bit with Knicks Heat. I think our defense could be a little better, but overall, I think our rotations have been really, really good, and he's been at the head of our defense, I feel like.
Jalen Brunson owns Donovan Mitchell in the playoffs, by the way. Just want to make that very clear. One thing that I will admit I was very, very wrong about was the matchup with the bigs. I thought the Cavs bigs were going to be so much better this series, but got to give credit where credit's due. Mitchell Robinson, Isaiah Hartenstein, Julius Randle just absolutely torched them on the boards, and that set the tone for the rest of the team. When you're getting 30 more possessions than the other team, it's tough to win a series. Mobley and Jared Allen just were getting cooked time and time again. They just weren't physical. They didn't have the heart. And they said after game one, we got to come out with more intensity. That was kind of an indicator right there that the series was not going to go their way. But shout to the Knicks. Shout to the Knicks.
It's definitely down low. The Knicks definitely dominated, which is surprising considering the Cavs had start two big guys down low. They start the Twin Towers of Mobley and Jared Allen down there. Brunson's been amazing. Great Villanova recruiting pitches for these two guys, putting it on display for everybody in the world to see. It's been a lot of fun. Donovan Mitchell, a little shocked about. He had some bad games this series, very bad games, not typical Donovan Mitchell playoff performances. Got to give shout out to the Knicks and Josh Harden quickly and Grimes even for the defense, but still, I expect more from Donovan Mitchell. I was quite surprised in the series.
Yeah, I don't know which one of you guys talked about the rebounding, but the last game, Mitchell Robinson, 18 rebounds, 11 of them were offensive, which is ridiculous.
That's absurd. That is absurd.
I mean, I don't care who you have on the court. If it's like the fact that it's the 4-5 matchup means that this is going to be two pretty closely matched teams, and if you're out rebounding the other team, by like 30, you're gonna win the game. It's just a math, argument at that point. Just more possessions,
just impactful rebounding. Impactful.
I did like the Josh Hart quote. I don't know if we mentioned it last time when he's like Mitchell Robinson gets like boards and he's like I get like rebounds that break teams, which is true. And we'll talk about this. He had a huge offensive rebound last night versus the Heat, but it's just like it's gritty basketball, and it's hard as a Villanova fan not to like root for the Knicks and just see this backcourt and what they're doing.
Gritty basketball. It's New York basketball, man. That's what it is. Wait, you know what's crazy? You forget that Jared Allen was an all-star. What was it? Maybe even just last year?
Last year, yeah.
Wow. Sorry. I just had to throw that in there.
I mean, is this Cavs loss, is this a team loss, or
they're sucked into this team?
While we're gonna be critical of Mitchell, he put up 28 in the elimination game on kind of okay shooting. Is it one particular player that didn't step up? Like, do we expect more of Garland, of Mobley? Like, these are a lot of young guys at the end of the day.
I think Mobley and Allen are too defensive. You have two guys that literally can do very little on offense to help this team, and you're relying heavily on Garland and Mitchell to get you baskets.
Yeah.
It's hard to win like that. Like, the Jazz have had that problem. It seems like the same problem for Donovan Mitchell. He's got a big man who can't really help on the offensive end like a big man should.
He needs a Julius Randle.
Yes.
Should have gone to the Knicks.
I love the Gobert slander.
Mobley's got to put on some muscle. I'll tell you that. That man is too skinny.
Yeah.
He's getting pushed around. I know you guys saw it. There was someone was shooting a free throw. He was trying to box out Julius Randle. It looked like a truck hit him.
Julius Randle's always been a bulldog since college, man. He is scary. While he's not always taller than someone, oh man, he's gonna make his presence felt. But to your question, Truett, Darius Garland, once again All-Star last year. I forgot he was playing in the series. Quite honestly, he was nothing short of a disgrace in my eyes. I like the kid. I really like what he can do. I was happy to see because I'm a Knicks fan, but ultimately as a basketball fan, it's tough to see.
Cavs need more veteran depth. That was the big kicker for them this series.
Yeah.
They really didn't have any bench, and they had nobody to combat the rebounding.
They honestly could have used Kevin Love.
They let him go.
Be
They
there
let
for,
Kevin Love
for
go. I'm
rebounding and
shocked
leadership.
about that.
Yeah.
If anything, he can mentor Mobley that's getting
Exactly.
pushed around and stuff. I don't know.
I think the oldest player, I mean, like, you have Rubio, but, like, the oldest player that
Right.
plays is, like, what, like LeVert? Or does Chetty play?
You have a
Yeah,
really young.
Like, you have a
Chetty
very
plays, but,
young
like,
team.
You don't want Chetty playing the playoffs.
Isaac Okoro is also
Yeah.
a liability on
Not
offense.
that the Knicks
They
aren't
don't-
young, but it just seemed like the Knicks had way more composure about them.
They had the experience. They,
They
had the
have
energy.
experience.
And they had
These
the heart.
guys, these young Knicks
Yeah.
guys have been playing through a lot of bad Knicks seasons for a long time now.
Yeah.
They've got experience.
And we'll
here.
talk about the Warriors Kings in a little bit, but that's a case of experience as well.
Exactly, yeah. In fact, that's a great segue. We have two series to talk about left, and I think they were two of the more exciting series in the first round, Lakers-Grizzlies and Kings-Warriors, just because of what was going on off the court. We'll start with Lakers-Grizzlies. So since we last talked, Game 5 was a Memphis blowout by 17, and then Game 6, Dylan Brooks, you wanted your 40 bomb. You got a 40 bomb. 125-85. Los Angeles Lakers winning 6. What a series.
Welcome to Shanghai. He's not going to be brought back under any circumstance.
The tweet from Shams the other day is that, as Liam said, under any circumstances, Dylan Brooks will not be coming back.
Ron
So,
James ended his career.
Literally.
talking to the media game 1 and 2, did not talk to the media game
3, 4, 5, 6.
and now he's out.
I want to give a big shout out to Anthony Davis. He's playing the best defense of his career, and he's just been so huge. But once again, it came down to the role players for LA. My boy Austin Reeves stepped up. My man.
I thought he was going to throw it in a dunk last night on the opening play on an alley-oop. I was going to lose it.
Yeah, Austin Reeves was a dog. And shout out to Rui.
Yeah.
Absolute
Yeah.
unit. He was balling for them this
He,
season.
was
I think,
good.
had 87 points off the bench in the first round, which is crazy. Crazy.
Wow.
Just, like, he's kind of been their sixth man, which is ridiculous to say at this point in the season.
Yeah. Very, very cool. Rui's been great. They've all been great. I mean, Anthony Davis, 4 blocks last night. He's been sensational. I mean, I know we're talking about the round prior, but his stat line last night was ridiculous.
We'll get into that.
We'll get into that. But the Lakers, they completely outplayed the Grizzlies, and I love it because I hate Dylan Brooks. But as it's fun to make jokes about it, I honestly, my hot take right now is that Dylan Brooks will be on an NBA roster next year. He'll be on a contender.
Any hot take of where he's going to end up?
Don't say it. Please don't say it, because I've seen a lot of things. That he's
Dallas
coming
Mavericks?
to Dallas, and
Oh
I
my
hate
God.
that so much.
I could see him on Dallas.
him on the
Unfortunately,
I hate it
Sixers.
so much.
Unfortunately,
Sixers.
Hopefully.
be a villain on the Sixers.
Tom would love him.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's going to be a lot of front office talks on how he's going to act off the court. He can't talk that much when he's playing like that. He's not a scrub. We've seen him play before, but if he's going to be playing like that, you can't be talking all that. I'm sorry, especially to, arguably the best to ever do it. I don't know if he's trying to, light a fire under his teammates to get them going, to face the king while Ja was out. But that, I don't know. That was not the way to do it. I don't know. And hey, maybe the series is different if Brandon Clark and Steven Adams don't go out. But
Yeah,
but
that's a good point.
and even Ja for a little bit. But we'll never know. And Lakers did a great job controlling the series, and Dillon Brooks did the opposite.
Yeah, and I think one of the things that's great about this Lakers team, and this might be the first time since the bubble win that I've really thought this, but LeBron doesn't have to go out and score 30. He had 22 in that closeout game. He was not the leading scorer. I mean, D'Lo had 31, but it's these guys that have the potential to step up, whether it's AD, D'Lo, Reeves, Hashimura. They just have a lot of guys that can actually go out and get their own shot, and it's taking a lot of pressure off LeBron. It's probably in the long run elongating his career a little bit, which is crazy to say at his age, in year 20. But I think the Lakers in this series showed much more composure. I think Ja was playing out of control, and the one play that shows me that is in the fast break versus LeBron. He just goes up, and I don't even know if he was trying to put the ball in the hoop. I think he was just trying to get contact. But I mean, that's a way that you have a Derrick Rose type injury, God forbid. But it's extremely reckless, and it seemed like the wrong attitude, the wrong type of composure to beat a team like this. Albeit a 7 seed team with more experience and just a better mindset.
They seem to have a major culture problem down in Memphis, and that's something that needs to be fixed. I think there was an interview after the game of I think Desmond Bain and Taylor Jenkins were saying something like this team just was more hungry last year and something like that. And Ja came out and was like, nah, it wasn't that. We just didn't play well or something like that. I feel like he's not taking responsibility. He's having off the court issues. We've seen it all season. And on the court, he seems just not in control of his body, like Drew was talking about. And I think it's going to be a big offseason for them, and seeing how they can somehow make this team more cohesiveness. And I think it does start with getting rid of Dillon Brooks.
I don't know who would want to go to Memphis, though.
I don't know.
After seeing this, that's probably one of the last places I want to go, even though it's a contender.
They're not a big market to begin with.
No.
And then this.
It's tough because I feel like Ja's rookie year and maybe even a second year, it was kind of a likable
They're
team.
so well liked.
I don't know when this transition happened. I feel like it was maybe last year or even this year, when it just the arrogance and this very unlikable swagger they carried it themselves with, where it's just
you gotta back up your swagger.
They called themselves
Yeah.
a dynasty.
Yeah.
It's just what are you
and
talking
I
about?
think Shannon Sharp had a really good opinion, and obviously I can't really speak to it. I don't have the experience to speak to it, but he was talking about how John Morant is trying to garner some sort of street cred or some sort of reputation among a certain cultures and certain groups, when at the same time he's making multi-million dollars playing basketball, and he's trying to be something he's not. At the end of the day, you have to recognize the immense privilege and blessings that you have, and to just go out there and act like that is really just kind of a disrespect and a slap in the face to the organization that believes in you and drafted you, and all your fans at the same time. Especially all the media stuff that came out about the Grizzlies. I'm not surprised they lost this with everything, all the dark clouds that are hanging over them from this season.
I just think it's the Grizzlies have been they have been a very fun team. They're a good team, right? And with that, I don't think they could handle that. I don't think they could handle that at their young age. They quickly became a hot team that was playing well, that people liked. They were up to trends. They were dancing. They're having a great time. And I think right quickly after that, their age showed where they got wrapped up in things that were insignificant. Started focusing less on the game and more about, okay, how can I make my presence felt? And maybe with Ja off the court, it's okay, I kind of want to, this is how I can be this guy. But it's just there's so many things that they got wrapped up in that they just shouldn't have. Most of the roster, Dillon Brooks, John Morant, etc. It's not just 1-2 guys, but at least there's some glimmer of hope in guys like Tyus Jones and Steven Adams that are still likable on the team. So.
And Desmond Bain, I feel like Desmond Bain.
Yeah, Desmond Bain's one of the likable guys.
Yeah, he's fine too.
We'll see what they do in the offseason.
Yeah. All right, Kings Warriors, last series to recap in the first round. Game 5, 6, and 7 happened. It was the last series to close out. Warriors obviously won 7 from a Curry 50 bomb. I think it's the record in the Game 7 playoff game. What are the takeaways for both teams coming after the series?
I think the Warriors are, once again, why you can't bet against them. They time and time again throughout these runs. I saw a stat the other day that I don't even know what the year was. Probably since like 2014, 2015, they have not lost in the playoffs to a Western Conference team.
Yeah.
Since the Clippers.
Yeah. With Blake Griffin. I think it was a Blake Griffin, like,
Chris
Lob
Paul,
City Clippers. It's insane. They do this year in, year out. They just, not that they're unstoppable, they just have such composure, such, like, been there, done that, focus. The big three of Steph, Draymond, Klay Thompson, those guys just do it game in, game out. Obviously, there's issues with, like, Jordan Poole, who's had a terrible series and I guess looked decent last night, but still not great. And his defense has been terrible. But I think overall this team is just experienced, talent, and they're a hard team to beat.
Shout out Curry, man.
Yeah.
Shout out Curry. But you know, you gotta give credit where credit's due. I don't think anyone would have thought Sacramento, first time in the playoffs in 16 years, is gonna take the defending champs to 7, much less be a game winner away from winning the whole series. What a great series this was, you know. But it's going to be a little tough, I think, for the Warriors going forward because they had to grind out this really tough series, 7 games, against a team that threw everything at you. But once again, it came down to experience, and they showed that in Game 4 and Game 5. You know, the shot selection for the Kings coming down the stretch was just
Bad.
really
Very bad.
questionable. And they got bailed out when Curry called that timeout that he didn't have. Let him back in the game, and it set Harrison Barnes up for a game winner. Those are the shots you have to make if you want to beat a champion.
3-1 and 2-2 over a defending champ is a huge difference.
Yeah.
But
Those are
Curry
shots.
also missed a game winner at the first game of the season. First game of the
Yeah,
thing.
he took
So,
a floater 3, but still, I mean, if you want to beat the defending champs,
Yeah.
those are the shots you have to make. And the Kings couldn't get it done, and once again in Game 7, much like in Game 5, they had a fourth quarter collapse. They just could not put the ball in the bucket. And the Warriors did. They had Curry. That was the difference in this series.
And one more thing real quick before you go, Jordan. Shout out Kevon Looney.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Over 20 rebounds in 3 games. That was a big difference. His offensive rebounding over Sabonis. Sabonis did not look like it was a big difference in this series.
He was probably the best player of the series.
Yeah.
I don't think that's crazy to say.
Yeah, no, I think Looney was definitely the difference maker. It looked like Sabonis had fought a bear when the series ended. He was beat up bad. Few key takeaways. One, Game 7, Harrison Barnes. Redemption.
Yeah.
Redemption from Game 7, 2016. He finally helped the Warriors this time.
Oh, my God.
Finally helped the
Wow.
Warriors this time.
Wow.
He hurt them in 2016, Game 7, and now he finally helps the Warriors in a Game 7. Too bad he's on the other team this time. Yeah, Harrison Barnes. Time to keep working on that 3-point shot. I think my biggest takeaway for the Kings going forward is Sabonis needs to develop some type of outside game.
Yeah.
When his defender can just sit in the paint, and Sabonis, I mean, he doesn't even look at the rim at times. I felt like he used to have that little mid-range jump shot. I don't want him developing into a Draymond Green type role. I think he's destined for more than that, better for that. He's a multi-year All-Star, and I think that he should, that's the biggest thing going forward for the Kings. And Keegan Murray, rookie, I mean, he's going to develop too. So I think they have a bright future, but that's the biggest takeaway for me is Sabonis needs to develop that and to make them more scary. And just, they're going to get more experience. For the Warriors, I mean, listen, we can say experience, we can say all this, but I mean, Steph Curry, it ultimately came down to Steph Curry, Game 7, 50 points on great efficiency. Klay was 1 for 10 at half. Poole in my eyes has not been great. Steph Curry just exploded and proved to many people why he deserves to be mentioned with the best of all time. For me, he's the best point guard of all time in my eyes. I think one of my hottest takes in basketball that I get a lot of heads turning is that I believe that Steph Curry is a top 5 player of all time. Behind obviously LeBron, MJ, Kobe, and then I have Curry and Kareem up there. That's my top 5. And every time I watch Steph, it's just unbelievable what he can do with the basketball. So, I mean, round 1, Steph Curry, 50 points. That's it. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think you guys covered a lot of good points. I don't want to be redundant. First of all, shout out Kings for a phenomenal season. You make the playoffs for the first time in forever. And I think, this is going to sound stupid, but I think this whole Light the Beam thing was a great thing for the team and the fans and the organization to rally around. It was just a great culture change and mentality change. I think it got people excited for the Kings, and it got the Kings players themselves excited to actually put on a Kings uniform, which, as silly as that might sound, I don't think has been the case for a long time. I don't think people have been really excited and felt the honor of donning the Kings uniform. So shout out you guys for turning this culture around and building something that hopefully can progress in the future. You have a lot of young players. You guys hit the nail on the head with the Looney point. Was an absolute animal and is a big reason why they won, which I never thought I'd be saying, that Kevon Looney was a huge reason they won this series. Very exciting series for sure. And, to Sean and Jordan's point, I don't think this could have been a worse matchup for the Kings because, A, you have a team that, as Sean pointed out, has had probably the most experience in the last 6-7 years versus a team that has had no experience in the last 6-7 years. And then to Jordan's point, it is well documented what Steph Curry can do, what Klay Thompson can do, what Draymond Green can do, what Poole can do at this point. It's very well documented, so I mean, I think with Fox, a lot of these explosions that he had on offense is wow, this is the first time we've seen this, on this stage, and that's great. But we've seen what Curry can do, we've seen what Klay and everyone else can do, and I think that's the huge difference maker. This was probably the worst matchup that the Kings could have had for those reasons, but. This is a W season for the Kings, nonetheless.
Yeah, I think if they get any other lower seed, they move on.
Yeah, even the Lakers. I think they give the Lakers a big trouble with their youth and everything. And one more thing I want to say about the series, it's just kind of funny. What's the beef going on with Harrison Barnes and Draymond Green? Green was saying he was the only guy that didn't get an invite to Barnes' wedding, and then Richard Jefferson chimes in, is yeah, even I got an invite. What it's just kind of silly beef outside of it. But.
I don't know. I mean, there's speculation. Draymond Green holds his teammates to a very high standard. He gets in your face. He's not shy about it.
His fists get in your face sometimes.
Yeah. And I don't know. Who knows how Harrison Barnes handles that? He could be soft and mentally soft. He hasn't really stepped up when he needs to step up. Who knows what it could be? But that's anybody's outside perspective best guess, I guess.
Yeah, and I mean, that's just a silly point, but stay with us at 89.1 FM, WXVU, Villanova student-run radio, The Roar. You're listening to Fun in the Locker Room, Truett Carster, Sean Rankle, Liam Holloway, and special guest Jordan Alvarado. We'll be right back with the Forest series going on right now after these ads.
The life of a college student can get busy and overwhelming. You have exams to study for, papers to write, internships and jobs to apply for, and co-curriculars. However, it is so important to take a step back and practice self-care to calm your anxiety. According to Thrive 365, a portal from the Office of Health Promotion, you should make time for things you enjoy, like listening to music and spending time with friends. You can also try recentering techniques like yoga or meditation to promote relaxation.
Learning what triggers your anxiety is key to preventing it. Make sure to set boundaries and celebrate your small successes. Give yourself some love. If you'd like more ways on how to reduce and prevent anxiety, visit thrive365.villanova.edu.
This PSA is brought to you by senior nursing students in the Fitzpatrick College of Nursing, the Office of Health Promotion, and WXVU Villanova Radio.
Every Saturday at 11 a.m., Andrew New hosts 2 hours on WXVU's Smooth Jazz Weekend. Andrew is an internationally known saxophonist. Hear stories from his career, his own music, and a wide variety of others. That's Andrew New, every Saturday at 11 a.m., only here on Villanova's V89.1, The Roar.
Here's some V89.1, The Roar Nova Knowledge. One of the Augustinian Friars is a former investment banker, and another is a former Boston Red Sox baseball player.
Welcome back to 89.1 FM, WXVU, Villanova Student Run Radio, The Roar. You're listening to Fun in the Locker Room. We just finished recapping all the first round series in the NBA playoffs. We're going to talk about the current series after some trivia. But first, our WXV Needs You fundraiser was a huge success. We raised over $7,600 that will go towards ensuring that this radio continues to thrive in Villanova. Thank you to everyone for your support. We are Villanova's V89.1 FM, The Roar. Thank you again for everyone that donated. Huge success. We tuned in a little bit. And it was a cool thing to be a part of as the radio, and it's good to see that the radio station's continuing to thrive. We're going to throw in a little trivia question for those that are just joining us before we get into the current series and Embiid's MVP. Rank, what do you have?
All right, so not that we're a hockey show at all, and this isn't a hockey question, but
Oh, God.
the Maple Leafs just ended their 19-year playoff win drought. So we're going playoff win droughts. Playoff win droughts, not playoff appearances, playoff win droughts. Which sport do you want to start in?
Win a series?
Series or
Yeah.
game?
Series.
Okay.
Oh, God.
Or like
Baseball,
a football game.
Baseball, football, or basketball? What do you want to start with?
Basketball.
All right, we'll start with basketball. Okay, it's over a 10-year playoff win drought. There are 5 teams that have longer than 10-year playoff win droughts. Can you name the 5 teams? Kings are one, yes.
Series.
Series.
Maybe like the Hornets ever win a series?
The Hornets are currently the longest drought with
Yeah.
19 years.
Jeez.
When's the last time the Pistons won a series?
Pistons also 15 years.
Wow.
Is that 2004 or around there?
2009.
Okay, so not that team, I guess. Oh, that's I don't know.
I don't even know what that team is.
Magic went to the. When did they go to the finals? 2009? Have they been to the playoffs? Have they won since then?
Did the Bulls win one last year? Or the year prior? Anywhere recently? Are they a team on there?
The Bulls are 8 years, so not making the gap, but pretty close.
Okay.
I'll give you the Magic because you were mentioning the Magic.
Magic,
The
okay.
Magic have been since 2011. The Magic have not won a playoff series. 13 years.
Wow.
One last team.
I think like
Pacers were
Dude, one of the T-Wolves won a playoff series. There's
Pelicans
no
or
way.
T-Wolves or something like that.
Pelicans have. T-Wolves have not won a series in 18 years.
That's what it was.
They got a couple of play-in games.
Playing
Yeah.
banner, baby.
Pelicans
Not
had
a playoff series.
when they upset Dame with that
Yes,
AD
yeah.
team. That was a
Drew
good
Holiday,
series. Yeah.
Do you guys want the other sports now, or should we spread them out throughout the show?
No, let's hear them now.
All right.
I'm excited.
We'll go NFL next. NFL, longer than 10-year playoff drought. There are 6 teams. The longest one is 31 years.
Oh my, is that the Jets?
No.
No. Remember Mark Sanchez? Come on now.
yeah.
The Jets do have an over 10-year drought. They have a 12-year drought.
The
since 2011.
Browns.
Browns.
The Browns, nope.
What?
No,
Baker
they
Mayfield.
beat the
Oh, yeah,
Steelers.
you're right.
Yeah.
That's right, yeah.
The Lions?
The Lions are the longest,
Yeah.
31 years
Wow,
since 1992.
That is ridiculous.
That is
Look
not
at that,
good.
football.
How many left?
There's 4 left.
Like the Redskins?
The Commanders have not won one in 17 years.
Excuse me, Commanders.
2006. 3 more.
What if the Dolphins? No, they didn't make the playoffs this year.
Are you guessing the Dolphins?
I'm gonna guess the Dolphins.
Dolphins have not won one in 22 years. Since
Holy.
2001.
Marino.
Was Marino around in 01?
I don't know. He was he not 90s or
Might
not?
be like Ched Penny, or is that too soon? I don't know. 2 more.
The Bears?
The Bears.
Very nice.
12 years since the not the Super Bowl, but 2011 was the last time they won one. One more team.
2011.
NFC or AFC?
AFC have not won one since 2003. It's been
Gotta
20
be-
ye's.
Like the Texans or the Colts.
Nope. Texans, Colts have both won
Really?
ones.
Wow.
Texans
yeah,
won one in 2020.
Yeah. It's Sean. And then they got blown
Colts in
out.
2019.
Yeah.
One more. They have changed cities, is my
It's
clue.
the Raiders.
It's the Raiders.
Ooh.
20 years.
Right.
Jeez.
Ew.
That
Alright.
is.
MLB. This one's kind of crazy. I don't think I realized how long the Cubs had actually gone without a playoff win. They had gone 94 years without a playoff win before 2003. But current active, there are 5 teams with longer than 10-year playoff win droughts. Any guesses?
The A's.
The A's know they've won one recently.
The Angels. Got to be the Angels.
Angels,
Yeah.
13 years.
Yeah.
They're
Gotta
one
be
of
the
them.
Angels. Pirates.
Nope,
No,
Pirates have
'cause
won.
Pirates won that one. It's stupid because the wild card game was one game.
The Rays.
No.
This is
I'm
a
not sure.
hard.
We're
This is a hard
testing your
sport.
new,
I know, dude.
baseball card.
Orioles? Have the Orioles been doing some winning?
Orioles have won
It's
one.
a tough sport for me.
Yeah. Rockies.
Nope.
Wow. Got to be the D-backs then.
Nope.
Really? What are these guys in the playoffs?
I don't.
How many teams was it?
5.
Liam, you're carrying this
Pirates
shit,
beat
man.
the Reds. The Pirates beat the Reds in that wild card game. We got to go Reds.
The Reds are the longest one. 27 years
There we
since
go.
1996.
There we go.
Nice.
3 more.
What about the Twins?
The Twins,
Yeah.
20 years since 03.
They're in the playoffs
Poor
every
Minnesota
year.
sports. Oh.
2 more.
Just don't win.
Yeah, that's one of the harder ones when you're there constantly. You keep losing.
I'm trying to think if the White Sox made the playoffs after. Yeah.
White Sox,
They won the
17
series. Wow.
years since
Yeah.
06.
Wow.
when they
One
won
more.
it. That's when they won it. Got to be the Miami Marlins.
Nope.
No? Oh, wait. COVID year. That doesn't count, though.
Counts here.
I don't know. Who we got, Rank? Is it the Mariners?
Nope, it is same division.
The Rangers?
Yeah.
Really? That's
Since
crazy.
2012, which I think was their
They
World
went to-
Series.
They went to 4 straight World Series.
Yeah, the Mets are getting up there. It's been 7 years since the playoff series win.
Damn.
Yep.
It's going to end this year.
Yeah. Didn't end last year, I'll tell you that. Go Padres. All right, we're back to current series now. Knicks Heats tied at 1-1. Will the Jimmy Butler magic continue? It did game 1, but did not game 2. Jordan, let's hear your thoughts on this.
One thing that I never doubted the Knicks on all year was how hard we play and the hustle of which we play with. Game 1 was the first game where I felt like we lost the toughness battle and we lost the intensity battle, just getting beat down the floor time and time again. That was really shocking to see, especially with Jimmy Butler on fire. And us not really able to get things going. I mean, I think that's ultimately why we dropped game 1. They hustled harder, they got better quality looks, and we can't win series like that. Like I said, we're not going to win series with Julius Randle taking step back threes. He loves them. I don't know why he loves them, but the quality of looks needs to improve. Now, getting into game 2, Jimmy out, and we still almost lose that game, nail biter. I'm not really sure what the answer is right now because the Heat were able to sit back in a zone, and we were still not able to get great looks. That was scary. Yes, it's really, really good to have shooting to shoot teams out of a zone, but even without it, I don't think our ball movement was very, very good to be able to get open shots against the zone. We weren't getting it inside enough, and we were taking a lot of difficult shots while it seemed like they had an open 3 every possession. That was scary to me. I never thought I would see an NBA team get to sit in a zone and it be effective for so long. Hopefully we figure those things out. Hopefully Tom Thibodeau figures it out. But I'll tell you what, it's not going to be playing our starters 45 minutes and trying to do the same thing over and over again. So he better figure that out.
I have a stat for you guys.
Let's hear it.
Miami yesterday, their undrafted players combined for 74 points. The most ever in an NBA game, regardless of playoffs or not. But Caleb Martin, 22. Gabe Vincent looked like prime Reggie Miller. He had 21. Max Strus had 17.
How do they find these
Is
guys?
Eric Spoelstra
They
the best
find-
developer?
It's time to start talking about Eric Spoelstra being a top.
Might be the best head coach in basketball right now.
I think that's an argument.
I mean, how do
definitely.
they?
I
They
think you could say
you know,
that.
every year. Like I think they had Duncan Robinson and Gabe Vincent. And Strus. These guys come out of
Caleb Martin.
nowhere.
If Haywood
And they
Highsmith
just-
played D2.
They just like develop. I don't know where they find these guys. They're throwing them in the starting lineup and it's working.
Clearly, their organization, their development is fantastic, top to bottom. Maybe they have claws here and there that keep them in check. I mean, we know of the body fat percentage that they they have their players maintain.
Is that a real thing?
Yeah. Many players have spoken out on it.
Really?
There's players that
I've
said,
never
"Oh,
heard
I don't want to play here anymore because I don't want to do this." So you have things like that. Who knows what else really goes on behind the scenes? But
I wonder if they've implemented that with Kyle Lowry. He's got a big tush.
Interesting comment, Truett.
Let's move on.
But I mean, their development has been so good. I mean, obviously their shooting coach has to be good because it felt like every player on the Heat didn't want to miss a three. Did not want to miss a three yesterday. So, clearly they have things going for them, and maybe the Knicks, someone from the Knicks organization needs to try to scan in and learn a little bit about what they're doing over there and bring it over to us. I don't know, but I mean, I'm still fairly confident in the series. We just gotta make adjustments. I think we're a better team, top to bottom, more talented. They just have the best player, so we'll see if he comes back and see if we make those adjustments.
So they get 3 nights off before next
They
game?
might.
Yeah, they'll play
I think they do.
Saturday.
Yeah.
The question I have for you guys for the group, considering the Heat won game 1, Jimmy Butler played. The Heat lost by 6 game 2. Jimmy Butler did not play. Will the series depend on how many games Jimmy Butler plays? And let's say he plays all the games going forward. Does that mean the Heat win the series? Will he only play in games that they win? Like what?
Julius Randle was also out game 1, or didn't feature very much in game 1. So I think when everybody's healthy, obviously Jimmy Butler's going to be a big factor in the series, and obviously him on the court makes Miami a different team. But I don't think the Knicks can't beat the Heat with Jimmy Butler on the court. Like, that's just.
But is it not a little scary that it was only I'm just playing devil's advocate here.
I know
that the Knicks won by 6 without Jimmy.
You can't just say that. I mean, Julius Randle and Brunson were both banged up too. They were very questionable for this game as well. We all Knicks fans were surprised when both of them were playing yesterday. I think it was just their way of saying, you know what, we have a few days off after this game. Jimmy Butler's not playing. We dropped one at home. This is one we need to get, so we have to play this game. But who knows at what percentage they're playing at? It's with the injuries, it's all hypothetical. And I mean, I obviously with everyone healthy, I think that we fare well. But it's coming from a Knicks fan, so it's up to you guys.
Yeah,
to
like
decide.
Giannis was the only game the Heat lost was against Giannis. I think every team plays different without their star player. Not better, sometimes worse, but sometimes it's just a different team. You do different things, more passing, more ball movement, just different ways of playing basketball. But so I don't really think it matters as much. But he's going to be a factor,
You're
obviously.
not getting 74 from your undrafted guys again.
Yeah,
that's just not going to
fair.
happen.
And Rank, to your credit, game 1 without Randall, the Knicks did look like a bit of a different team. Like, it's not necessarily better or worse. Like, definitively, it is different. I see what you're saying.
Bam
Like,
also played terrible.
The stat
this
last
game.
year we talked all about the fact that what was the Grizzlies' record without John Morant? Like,
It's good.
it was really good,
Yeah, they
but
were
still, like, we obviously knew that needed John Morant to win games. So it's whatever.
I think Bam needs to step up for the Heat if they want a chance this series. He played really bad in game 2. And you're not going to win games when your best player plays really bad.
Yeah, and Julius Randle has a way to exploit the Heat in these matchups for some reason, constantly.
Yeah. I guess it's time to make a prediction for this series now that
This is the only series I think that
we got wrong.
none of us have anybody going through the series. That makes any sense.
What was our record
Oh,
for
'cause we
the
had the
last?
Oh, if you want the record, I have that.
I would
actually.
love to see that. Yeah,
You'd love to see that. Let's see.
because I don't think any of us got Heat Bucks right.
Nuggets, we all got right. Lakers, we all got right. Warriors, Liam got wrong, so you got 1 loss so far, Liam. Clippers, you got wrong, 1 loss for you.
I chose the.
I can't
Warriors.
wait to
Wow.
talk about that series after this.
Yeah,
Oh,
we all
man.
had Bucks. We all lost that one. 1 loss for each of us. And then you guys both had Cavs. So you guys have 2 losses, 3 losses.
No,
3 losses. Yeah.
Yeah.
Clippers, Bucks,
Oh yeah.
Cavs, and I have 1 loss.
Yeah.
So you guys went 5 for 3,
okay,
and I
Mike.
went 7 for 1.
All right, we'll take it. It's above 500.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All
All right,
right,
but
so-
predictions.
Yeah, let's predict this series.
Knicks, Heat.
Give me how many games?
Jordan, you can go first if you want.
Knicks in 3. I'm gonna say Knicks in 6. I think the Heat can pick up another game, but if everybody proves to be healthy, I I think that the Knicks are going to make the right adjustments and continue to play that stellar defense that we play, and honestly start to play harder and make those adjustments that, hey, we're getting beat we're getting beat on the toughness battle. Let's lock in, kind of limit Jimmy Butler and move past this series.
What do you guys think?
Liam, you'll go next.
Yeah, I really don't know. I think this series is going 7 games. And then at Game 7, it's just kind of a toss-up, so I guess I'll go with the home team there. I guess I'll go Knicks in 7.
Yeah,
But it really pains me to bet against Jimmy Butler after what happened the first series.
I think Knicks. I think it's going 7-2, and Knicks in MSG with the crowd rocking. I don't see how they lose a Game 7 in MSG. Knicks at 7.
All right, I want the Knicks to win, full discretion, but I have to pick something else besides Knicks in 6 or 7. So I'm gonna go Heat in 7, just to play old devil's advocate. Maybe the Jimmy Butler magic keeps going.
Hey, game
would be sick.
Game 7 can go either way, and you got the best player in the series, and if he's playing, you have a good chance.
Yeah,
quite honestly.
that is true.
Before we move on to the next series, I'm gonna head out. Little quick plug. I'm going to help the Villanova women's basketball team prepare as they are gearing up to participate in the FIBA 3-on-3 tournament. Good luck to all of them. The players that are flying out are Zanai Jones, Lucy Olson, Maddie Burke, and Christina Dulce. So good luck to them as they compete in that.
Jordan, thank you as always. It's always a pleasure to have you on the show. It's a busy guy, so we're just blessed to have some of your time. And you always add great insight and everything. And the times you've been on the show this year have been truly beneficial for us, and as a show and as a radio station. So thank you again.
Always a pleasure. Thank you so much, guys. Love you.
Thank you, Jordan. Always astute analysis. Always.
All right, on to the next series in rank. We have been waiting to talk to you about this for a while. Celtics, Sixers, Game 1, no MVP. If that makes sense. MVP, Embiid.
Who's back Game 2? It's been announced already. He's playing tonight.
James Harden masterclass. Philadelphia wins 119-115 off of, I'll just bring up 2 possessions. The Tyrese Maxey intercepted errant pass.
The Brogdon
Which was
blunder.
Did you read the 2-minute report? That was a 24-second shot clock violation. The NBA came out and said that should not have counted.
Whatevs.
Not accounted.
They miss a lot of things.
Ridiculous.
And then the Harden
You can't talk about a play that shouldn't have counted.
game winner.
That's a nice shot.
All right, so you got something you want to talk about? Let's talk about it.
Apologize to Harden. Apologize to him.
I don't.
I'll apologize to him too, and I love the man. but I
Obviously,
didn't think
he had a
this.
great game, but I don't think my comment that I texted after the game was a chirp to him. Like
No.
this is not vintage Harden.
Before the series, you said that he was going to stink it up in the playoffs, and that he's not a big time.
He had one good game
without Embiid.
Yeah,
he single-handedly
that's how he
beat
does
the
with
Celtics.
Embiid.
Single-handedly beat the Celtics. You come on.
It was a great game by him, and I'm scared for this series. It's gonna be a tough series. Go back and forth. It's the 2 best teams left in the Eastern Conference. I think we can all agree on that.
Yeah.
No doubt in my mind.
Easy.
This is the Eastern Conference.
This could be the NBA Finals.
Yes.
This team, whoever wins this, might win the whole thing.
Yes, these are 2 of the best teams left, and they're going to put on a show. These teams are going to go back and forth. It's going to be a tough series. I don't really have any much more to say. I think, as weird as it sounds, I'm almost happy Embiid's coming back because I think it allows the Celtics to play the basketball they want to play. Because without Embiid, the Celtics had to go a little smaller, couldn't have Al and Robert Williams on the court together, things like that. And I think with Embiid on the court, it changes things up. Like, obviously he's a better player than anybody else than Al or Robert Williams, but I think we have guys who can defend him, keep him in check. I don't know, slow the game down. I'm intrigued to see how this plays out. I think this is the Celtics win tonight. I think we go 1-1 back to Philly. It's going to be a really tough series. I don't really have anything else to say.
I have a quick question before we get into more analysis. Because I am often confused when 24-second violations happen. Like, in my mind, sometimes they stop play, and sometimes they just let the team that has the ball, assuming it's... So, I don't know what the... Do you know what the rule... I don't know what the rule is. Because sometimes they don't stop play.
Because sometimes they'll get it with, like, the team will pick it up with, like, half a second left and they blow the whistle. Other times it seems like it's late.
Once it leaves their hand, you have to get it off before it leaves the hand. So, in my mind, in that aspect, like, as soon as it leaves the Celtics' hand with 24 seconds left and the Sixers guy picked it up, I thought it was a clean play. looking at the play. Like in my mind, how the rule should work is Celtics guy takes a shot before the 24-second violation or leaves the Celtics ball's hand, and the other team picks the ball up even after the 24 seconds went off. Just let it play.
Yeah.
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 Because that's how shot clock works in my mind. But I guess that's not how it's supposed to work. I don't know.
Second thing, just a quick little, fact. PJ Tucker didn't attempt a shot or a free throw in 37 minutes.
That's the most minutes ever without a shot attempt of any type. It's
ridiculous. And then two things, and then I'll let Liam take the floor, and you guys can discuss these things. First thing is, should Jaylen Brown be taking more than 10 shots? And second thing is, this isn't even a question. This is more of, you have to win at home. B, you have to win the games that Embiid's not going to play. That is a blessing, a gift from God that was given. And yes, all credit goes to Harden, but you need to win these games.
I agree with that, but I think we were saying the exact same thing in the Heat-Bucks series when we knew Giannis wasn't playing Game 2, and we said the Heat need to win Game 2 without Giannis on the court, and they didn't win it, and they won the series.
That's a fair point.
Because we were on this show saying the exact same thing.
That's a pretty good point.
I don't know.
What do you think about the Jaylen Brown question?
I think Tatum needs to step it up. He has proved time and time again in the playoffs he is so inconsistent. And I don't want to be that guy. I think Jaylen Brown is just more reliable. I really do.
Who turned that ball over in the maxi play?
Brogdon.
It was his only turnover of the game.
Ridiculous.
Only turnover of the game.
Actually, I was wrong. I just
did
read
not play good.
I read
either.
the 2-minute report. I thought I saw that, but I was wrong. That play was legal.
But
It was a bad play. I do agree Tatum does have inconsistencies in the playoffs. It's been proven time and time again. But it's also something that I'm not concerned about in an aspect because I know he's going to show up when we need him. I think he's going to come out tonight and he's going to play like Jason Tatum plays. The Celtics have the depth. I heard you guys talking in the last show about the lack of Celtics depth, which sounds absolutely preposterous to me.
Well, I just don't get why Derek White's starting.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
I don't get why
either.
Robert Williams isn't starting.
yeah.
I think it was
especially
matchups.
against
It's the only
the
reason I
Sixers.
was thinking.
If it was me, I would start. I don't know what happened to Grant Williams because I feel like in the finals he was playing a lot. He played 4 minutes that game. If it was me, I would start. Obviously, you have Smart, Brown, and Tatum, and I would do Grant and Robert. And I think your bench is so much better if you have Horford and Derek White and Brogdon.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm not the coach. I don't make this. I trust.
It's Missoula's first playoff series
Yeah.
also, so he's going to make mistakes. He's going to make errors. Udoka made them last year. But I agree. I don't like the rotation aspects, but they still have the guys. I'm going to see how it goes tonight. I think they win tonight and everything changes.
Brogdon really is a great player, though. He is. He's a great player for you guys.
Like, we kept the same team and added Brogdon. We should be.
If you guys don't win tonight, is the series over?
No, it's never over. But I'd be more concerned. Yeah,
That's a good answer.
I'd be concerned tonight. I am concerned right now.
I'm calling this a must-win for the Celtics. If they go down 2-0, drop 2 games at home, goodbye. See you in Cancun. Better win this game.
They do better win this game. I also another gripe I have with the Celtics, which I guess I can't complain too much about because Marcus Smart always pulls up in the big moments. But the last play of the game, not the last play, but one of the last plays of the game, they drew up an inbound play for Marcus Smart to drive into the paint and try to make a basket. Why is the ball not on 2 of your better offensive players? I know Marcus Smart takes random threes sometimes and he just somehow makes them, but the consistency he has is a lot lower than Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum in these moments, and Tatum and Brown need the ball in their hands in those moments, not Marcus Smart.
I agree.
That's my last point for this.
I'm trying to find the stat. I don't think I'm gonna be able to. What? So, whose fault is it that Harden's a great player. Whose fault is it that he's dropping 45?
It's the team's fault.
The entirety of the Celtics.
I'm trying to see who his primary defender was. I can't find.
You
that
guys
stat.
saw he got to the rim whenever he wanted. It wasn't like against the Nets when he couldn't do anything inside the 3-point line.
I don't remember what pick and my guess is they were running pick and rolls, and I'm not sure who they were trying to expose in
that's fair.
defense. Probably Brogdon would be my guess, but he's a decent defender.
Poor Al. He just got
It's
cooked.
got to be Al.
Yeah, Al might
And I
be
feel like that's
too much of a defensive liability to start at this point.
No, but when you get Embiid in the game, everything changes.
Yeah,
So that's why I
that's
really
fair.
think
That's fair.
we're built to beat an Embiid team. It was just a bad. As weird as it sounds, we were better positioned to beat the Sixers with Embiid on the court.
Everything went wrong for you guys.
Yeah.
This reminds me of
And they played the perfect game, and we didn't.
the team that should have won was winning, and then it's kind of like the Curry blunder.
Yeah.
With the Brogdon turnover, except the Sixers won. I think you guys had the game in your hands. None of this matters. Like, even if it's close and Harden drops 45, none of it matters if you win. But Rank, I'll give you some credit. I don't think this is too worrisome. They are a different team without Embiid. Obviously, they're not going to feed Paul Reed the ball 25 times a game. But Harden has been under a lot of scrutiny because of the way he's had to change his game. He was told time in, time out, hey, scoring 35, a game is not winning for you, and he changed his game to be 20 and 11, and he knew he had to flip the switch back for this game. So it, whether it's better or not, I think it's very subjective. It's a different team, so we'll see tonight. We'll see what happens.
Let's go into the next series.
Yeah.
You really want to talk about this one?
You want to talk about Nuggets Suns?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, go. Go talk about it happened.
I said it when it happened. As soon as the trade happened, I said it. Suns were gonna have issues, and it was so apparent in that first series that Norman Powell and Russell Westbrook were lighting them up for 40 a game.
Wait, sorry, 1 second. Do we make a pick for the Celtics series?
Oh, let's do that. I'm sorry. We're sorry to interrupt you.
Sorry, you were going
get
in
started.
your role.
I didn't want to go on a tear.
This is gonna be another Kevin Durant. Actually, just finish. Go on your thing.
No, let's make our picks.
I'm sorry.
I'll start over again. I'm fine with that.
All right, you want to make your pick first?
Sixers in 7.
True
They
it.
win in the Garden.
True it.
It's gonna be different this year.
Celtics in 6. Not what I want, but what I think.
Yeah, I'm rocking Celtics in 6.
I think that might happen.
Sweet.
Totally fine being wrong.
All right, Liam, sorry, go ahead.
Okay, as I was saying, the writing was on the wall. Norman Powell and Russell Westbrook were lighting this team up, and the Suns, they are praying to God, very thankful that PG and Kawhi basically didn't play this series. And now they're being exposed. That team has no depth. Bismack Biyombo is out there trying to guard Nikola Jokic, and it's awesome to watch. It's great. Absolute disaster class by Kevin Durant in Game 2. Literally shot them out of the game. And you know what happened in that fourth quarter? When you have two of the greats, Devin Booker and Kevin Durant, they dropped 14 points. The writing was on the wall. They literally made a deal with the devil. We're going to get Kevin Durant, but we're going to lose everybody else. Outside of Ayton, CP3, Devin Booker, and Kevin Durant, they have nobody on the team that should be playing in a playoff game. I don't think it's that crazy to say. They're basically playing 4 against 5.
Do you blame them for making the trade, though?
Not at all.
Because I think the same exact thing would be happening if Mikal Bridges and Cam Johnson were still there.
I think it would be a much better matchup for the Suns if they had Mikal Bridges and Cam Johnson.
Yeah, maybe, but they're still losing the Nuggets.
Game 2. You know who the 4 players for the Suns are off the bench that got 10 minutes or more? Craig, Biyombo, Cam Payne, and Damian Lee.
I love it. The Nuggets are just showing why, you build a team. You build a team around a superstar so that superstar can flourish. Shout out Jokic, man. 39, 15. I don't even know how many assists he had, but it was probably a butt ton. And he stepped up when Michael Porter Jr. and Jamal Murray had off nights. And they held the Phoenix Suns to 87 points. That was the big question mark in the series. Was the Nuggets defense going to get it done?
This defense is so underrated.
They proved it. Christian Brown and Bruce Brown played absolutely incredible on KD. Aaron Gordon had KD in hell. I'm so happy to see it.
To Rank's point when you were asking about the trade, I agree. You do this trade when it's in front of you, but you trade away your depth to get Kevin Durant to do Kevin Durant type things, and you're like, all right, that's totally fine. We'll take that. But when Kevin Durant doesn't do Kevin Durant type things, because he didn't do Kevin Durant type things Game 2, you are screwed. And And Devin Booker had 35. He did what he could. Chris Paul went out for a little bit. He's not what he used to be. His hammy's acting up again too. But you sacrifice that depth to go get Kevin Durant to do Kevin Durant type things, and when he doesn't, it's a big uh-oh.
This is the trade that there was talks about Kevin Durant getting traded in the offseason, and the Suns would be in a much better position in my mind if they would have had made this exact same trade in the offseason.
Yeah.
Because this was the trade the Nets wanted from the beginning, and the Suns finally gave into it. Because if the Suns made this trade in the offseason, they can
sign some guys.
They can sign some guys. Some guys want to come here more. Because right now, they have nothing. Kevin Durant is played 44 minutes. Devin Booker's playing 45. Chris Paul is out these next 3 games. This series is a sweep. There is no chance.
I didn't
he is
know
out.
he was out.
He's out game 3, game 4, game 5.
Wow.
There's no way the Suns win a game.
Liam, so what happened in game 1? Game 1 was a blowout.
They just
but
got smoked.
Kevin Durant had 30 and Booker had 30.
That's the thing. The Suns,
Efficiently.
to win a game, they have to play perfect.
Yeah.
They literally have to play perfect. And we saw this against the Clippers. They had to play perfect to beat the Clippers, who didn't have their 2 best players.
And we were concerned about minutes there. Like
Yeah.
Kevin Durant and Devin Booker averaging 45.
It's just not going to happen against a team with depth that can throw guys at you purely for defense. The only reason why Christian Brown is playing in this series is so he can guard Devin Booker and so he can guard KD. That's the only reason he's on the court.
Yeah.
The Suns don't have guys like that. They just don't. And it truly is awesome to see.
I mean, yeah, and I think you're right about game 1 because Kevin Durant shooting above 50%. Same with Booker. They both had 30. The team as a whole shot above 50%. And you're like, okay, this team should probably win. But why does Aiden, Durant, and Devin Booker all have plus minuses of around minus 20? They straight up. This Nuggets team is an offensive powerhouse and plays amazing team defense. And we're dogging on the Suns, but give the Nuggets their flowers. They have a very complete roster, probably one of the most complete rosters in the NBA. They have their shooters. Shout out KCP. Shout out Aaron Gordon. And yes, Nikola Jokic makes a lot of these guys look better than they are. But this is a complete team. Shout out Mike Malone.
Yeah.
I don't know why people thought the Nuggets were really in trouble. Like, this is a really good team.
And the fact that they won game 2 with Jamal Murray and Michael Porter Jr. combining for 15 points and shooting 0 from 11 from 3, and they won that game, ridiculous.
Yeah.
There's
a lot
second
of
and third best
teams.
players.
Yeah.
There's a lot of teams that are star dependent. I can't really think of any, but there's teams out there that are star dependent, and if that happened to them, there's no way they win that game.
That's the Suns.
Oh, yeah.
They mentioned the Suns'
Yeah.
second, third best players dropped 15 combined.
Yeah, exactly. And people were kind of dogging on Jokic after the first round that he wasn't putting up these fantastic stat lines, but man, he's such a presence.
Yeah,
And
I'll be the first to admit that I did not think
Yeah.
that they win the series. I didn't think that the Nuggets were going to win it. I never really trusted the Nuggets in the playoffs, and Jokic in the playoffs. But Jokic is proving it this year. I think he's playing with another passion, another level that he just wants to prove everybody wrong.
I mean, it's also the fact that he has his second and third best players healthy
exactly.
and just available.
Yeah.
Not to mention the role players of Bruce Brown, Jeff Green, and Christian Brown off the bench have just been. They have that energy, and they're gonna go into Phoenix. They're gonna smoke them in Game 3, and then the Suns are gonna be gone.
Sweep.
See you in Cancun.
All right, predictions.
It's a sweep. Not going back to Denver.
I'm gonna give. I really want the Nuggets to win in Denver, though. Whatevs. Nuggets at 4.
Nuggets in 4.
I'll give the Suns a game. I was actually thinking about giving them 2 games because I thought maybe they win 1 in Phoenix, then Nuggets take 1 and make it 3-1, and then the Suns take 1 more. It's 3-2, and then the Nuggets finish it out. But on brand, I'll go Nuggets in 5. I'll give them a game.
I think the next series is probably our most controversial, most hype series that we're going to get into.
Everyone stick around. You're going to want to hear this.
Warriors, Lakers, Steph Curry versus LeBron James. The matchup the NBA could not have scripted any better.
One of the most expensive game tickets, I think it's the most
Ever.
expensive non-finals NBA tickets ever.
No doubt. No doubt in my mind. 2 of the greatest of all time.
Yeah.
Best in their positions. This series is going to be a big one. the Lakers have been playing. I said it on the last show I was on how I'm scared of the Lakers. They're scared they're going to do this again, and they are playing very well. AD's playing well. LeBron's playing well. We talked to them earlier. They're playing really, really well right now.
The issue for the Warriors is that LeBron doesn't even need to have a great game for them to win.
Yeah.
The Warriors need to have great games from either Curry or just a magical shooting performance from Clay for them to have a chance. And I will say this. Anthony Davis is not Domantas Sabonis. He proved that last night. 23 rebounds.
4 blocks, 30 points.
Kevin
that guy?
Looney also got 23 rebounds last night.
It was a good battle. It was a good battle.
It was a great battle, but
There were some times when Looney made AD look like a little boy.
That's
Not
not
gonna lie.
How often do you
It was
get
going
two
back and forth.
guys on opposite teams both getting 23
That is
rebounds in a
crazy.
night?
That is
but
crazy.
for AD to supplement that with 30
It's a
points.
lot of misses. from both teams.
The rim protection was insane. I said it earlier. I've never seen AD play defense like this in his entire career. It's going to be an issue for the Warriors, especially, you dropped that first game at home.
Yeah, I don't think I'm too concerned. Kuminga did not play in this game, and Kuminga needs to get into the series because I think he could provide the spark. Somebody down low, somebody who can obviously not do what AD can do, but I don't know, somebody down there that could do something. I'd rather him playing over Jeff Green.
Jermichael
Green.
Yeah.
Sorry,
All right,
wrong Green.
here's the question.
I agree, Ryan.
Here's the question. What do we think of that shot by Jordan Poole last night?
I think what you do in that situation is you grab the ball, give it right to Curry.
Give it right back to him.
back to Curry. Curry did not have a good game, but he had a good fourth quarter. Really good
Poole
fourth
also had
quarter.
a decent game. Finally, for once, he had 21 points.
But he didn't have a good fourth
No,
quarter.
he did not.
He hit that 1-3. He hit the 1-3 to bring it within 3. It was 109-112, and that was it.
Yeah, I think the role players for the Warriors are going to have to get going. DiVincenzo had nothing. Obviously, Gary Payne's not going to do much. Even Andrew Wiggins only had 15. I think he needs to get more into the series and be a guy that can get downhill and make his threes. I'm really excited for this series.
The Warriors need to be less hesitant in taking two-point shots. It seemed like they were only 3 hunting, and the lead started to slip away, and all of a sudden they're down 10 points. Shooting threes, obviously, that's their game plan.
Yeah.
It's what's worked for them in the past. But there are times when, Curry blows by a guy, and instead of looking for Clay or Jordan Poole or Wiggins on the perimeter, you got to take that pull-up J. A little questionable game plan, from the Warriors there. But
yeah, they'll make changes to make adjustments. Steve
Kerr's a great coach.
Done it over and over again.
Did you see there was an alternate stream with Richard Jefferson? I'm blanking on her name. She's like a woman in sports that like interviews. I think it's Taylor Rooks, and Tyrese Halliburton, and they're watching the game. Did any of you see this?
No.
And they were reacting to the Jordan Poole shot live, and Richard Jefferson and Taylor are just like, oh, why are you taking that? Like it's like 5 steps behind the 3-point line. Like what are you doing? And then Tyrese Halliburton, like at the end of their little rant, is like, oh, I take that shot. Like I'll take that in a playoff game.
Yeah.
And Richard Jefferson is like, that's why you're here with us. So I'm pretty critical to shot. I think you hand it right back to Curry, and if not, maybe he was a good 5 steps behind the 3-point line. He was far.
There was 8 seconds left on the shot clock too.
Yeah, wide open lane too. If you really, like look at the above angle, but if I'm a Warriors fan, I'm not worried. If I'm a Lakers fan, I'm not feeling too like we got it in the bag. Like this could go back and forth. Like they each win a game until we get to Game 7. This should be a great series, and this is popcorn right here.
I loved how the Lakers just they funneled everyone to AD and just let AD do his thing defensively.
Yeah.
It was sick
He had
to
a great
watch.
game. Great game both ends of the court. I have Warriors in 7.
Oh, I thought about this.
You guys both originally had.
We had the meeting.
I had the
though,
Kings.
right?
I had the Kings in the Western
you had the
Conference
Kings.
Finals.
What did I
You had Warriors over Lakers.
really?
Yes, you did.
And how many?
We didn't choose numbers for
Oh
this
my
one.
god. So do I have to make a new one, or I guess
You can just stick. I'm rocking with the Warriors in
I
7.
don't want to rock with the one I have.
I'll be different. I'll pick Lakers in 6.
I think every pick I've made today, I want the opposite, but this is what I think is going to happen. So I'm just going to keep what I have.
I'm just picking who I want to win.
That's fair.
Totally fair. No shame on that whatsoever.
Whatevs.
Give me an exciting series.
They play tomorrow on ESPN
And Sunday probably.
Are there any games tonight?
and
Yeah, so
Sunday,
Sixers.
Oh
right?
yeah.
yeah. So I mean, these playoffs. If you guys on the air couldn't tell, we're extremely excited. A lot of great. I think every series that's going on right now is really exciting, and it's just a lot of great basketball going on right now. Shout out MVP Embiid. The video of him reacting to it, hearing it, was pretty cool. His teammates dapping him up. You know, he's in tears, a little emotional. First time ever LeBron has not had a single vote for MVP. You know,
That's,
Cool.
that's
And-
crazy.
no, I agree. Doesn't deserve one this year, but end of a crazy run.
Yep.
Shout out Embiid, man.
Yeah,
So inspirational.
yeah. I mean,
I don't know if you guys saw that tweet that he had. It's from 2014,
Yeah.
and he photoshopped himself on the top of the MVP ladder, and boom, 9 years later, he
it's very
finally
on
receives it.
brand for Embiid to do that. I like that.
Great guy. Great for the NBA.
Are we all pretty, like, in agreement of this? Who came in second, by the way? It was Jokic.
yeah.
So Giannis was probably
He was
far off
third.
from third.
Not that far off.
Really?
No, because Embiid got the majority of first
Somebody
place votes.
didn't vote for Jokic.
Yeah, someone didn't vote Jokic in.
Really?
Nowhere in top 5.
Yeah, in the
Somebody
top 5,
didn't vote him
which
top
is
5.
crazy.
I would have loved to have seen. Who did he have in his top? Did it say or no?
No, it was just
I don't know.
his votes didn't add up to 100.
Yeah.
Which
Okay.
was yeah.
Interesting.
Shout out to Truitt. Shout out to Shea. Finished top 5.
Did he really?
Finished 5th. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't see that.
And Brunson even got a vote.
Wow.
1 5th place vote.
Shea finished second place in most improved, so pretty cool. I think Jalen Williams second place in rookie of the year. Good year for the Thunder for sure. But I did not know that MVP thing. That's cool. It's cool. I guess with the time remaining, we can talk about the NFL draft and maybe a little bit of MLB. Big takeaways from the NFL draft. How'd the Giants do, Rank?
Giants did very well. Got a nice cornerback in the first round, got a center in the second, and traded up for the best wide receiver in college football last year. So I was very excited about our draft. It's a great season. Very excited for the season going forward.
Liam Saints.
I mean,
Did you guys have a first?
yeah. I don't know how. Oh, it was from
Sean
Sean
Payton.
Payton.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we got defensive tackle from Clemson. It's gonna be fine. I'm excited about this guy that we got from Notre Dame though, Isaiah Foskey, who's a defensive end, but he can play every position on the line. So
Oh,
that's
wow.
really exciting. And then we got the TCU running back Kendra Miller, who's a dog, and he said, I love this mentality. He said, Kamara, I'm coming, brother. I'm gunning for that RB1. So I love that already.
Yeah.
I'm excited with our draft this year.
That's awesome.
How's the Seahawks?
Seahawks, so the 2 first rounds, one from the Broncos, which landed 5th, took Weatherspoon, the corner. Very happy we didn't take a quarterback. Was really worried that was going to be the choice because all the media like to brew it up to make a little controversy that we were going to add a quarterback with one of the 2 first rounders, and then took the first in what was a string of 4 straight wide receivers. Someone was telling me the Giants wanted one of those 4, and they all went off the board right before their
Yeah.
pick.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry about that. But
I'm happy with our corner.
I like the guy you got, Smith and Jigba.
Yeah,
he's
one of the best
a
ones.
beast.
yeah,
He's
him
gonna be
with
really
Lockett and DK should be
Yeah,
crazy.
good.
Help Gino out even more.
Are you shocked by the running back pick in the second round?
A little bit. It was the second of our second round of our 2 second rounders. I am shocked because shocked, not shocked because we have Kenneth Walker. I wouldn't have taken a running back that high. We don't have a lot of depth after Rashad Penny leaves. I think he went to the Eagles. It's very empty in that running back room, but I would not have used a second round pick that high for him.
Yeah.
How about Will Levis dropping out the first?
That was shocking. Kind of shocking, but
This was such a weird draft,
yeah.
especially with the quarterbacks. I don't know. I feel like there was so much variance in where people could have gone this
Yeah.
draft as compared to like others. But
I'm really excited to watch Anthony Richardson next year with the Colts.
Yeah,
I think he's definitely got
what
the
an
highest
upgrade
ceiling.
in
Yeah.
athleticism.
Yeah.
from that.
literally,
That's crazy. And then the Titans end up getting Will Levis, so I don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, I feel
Tannehill.
so
and-
bad
and
for
Are they
Malik.
giving up on Malik Willis?
Probably.
Which is crazy because the dude hasn't played.
He was terrible. He did play last year.
Yeah,
he had
but,
the
like-
7 passing attempts in one game.
Yeah, but like he played how many games?
4 or 5.
Yeah.
I think it's tough to give up on.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he was a
Especially-
3rd-round pick.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Levis was second rounder.
Yeah, but Levis has got more potential.
I don't know. Levis is also what 25, I think.
I don't think he's that old.
23.
Did any
I
of you
think
guys
he's
have?
I think he's older than Malik Willis, which is
Really?
crazy. Yeah.
Did any of you guys have Bryce Young and C.J. Stroud going in the opposite order, or was this
No,
I
I, think
I
that
thought it was pretty.
pretty straightforward.
Panthers got their guy?
Yeah.
Where did Stroud go?
Texans.
Yeah.
Texans. Okay, giving up on.
I saw,
whatever that guy's name is.
The
Davis
Cardinals
Mills.
did. The Cardinals are now in position to have the first
Yeah.
and second draft picks for next
They're
year.
the Texans first overall next year.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I don't think the Texans will stink that bad.
I was kind of confused by what the Texans are doing. I like this, so they traded up to get the pick right after theirs. I feel like if you're a rebuilding team, you need all the draft
Yeah.
capital you can get. You
Yeah,
need-
but you got your quarterback, and now you got a big
They're
defensive
also-
guy. who's
They're
like,
taking their shots.
yeah, you gotta take a
yeah,
shot.
you gotta respect
I
it.
understand that, but
where they are.
I think having more shots
Yeah.
Yeah.
at hitting someone, like, because if that guy doesn't pan out,
If one of them doesn't pan out, it's a bad draft.
yeah.
Yeah.
So you're taking a home run play. We'll see what happens, I guess. But exciting draft, yeah, and I agree. There was a lot of like variance.
Can we talk about Lamar Jackson?
Yeah.
Big contract.
Lamar Jackson got his big contract,
Shout out Lamar.
Liam, how do you
and
feel?
the Ravens drafted a wide receiver in the first round. How you feeling about Lamar Jackson?
I'm happy for him, man.
He tweeted out too something. He was happy.
Really?
Well deserved. Well deserved.
So, if he doesn't have a good season next year, passing wise, are we putting this bed to the rest of the narrative that he doesn't have any wide receivers?
Unless there's something glaring about like his O line, it's worse.
Yeah.
than the league.
Unless both his running backs tear their ACLs and
Again,
if everything is like lines up for him, and he doesn't, like we were saying like a year ago,
no devastating injuries, and
well, like when we talked about Tua when they got Tyreek Hill, and we said you have everything lined up for you. If you don't do well, it's
And
on
then
you. And he did do
concussions.
well. If
And then he got-
same
yes,
thing, if everything
head
lines
got
up for Lamar Jackson,
destroyed.
he's
then-
got
then
the
we
he's got the
should.
best wide receiving core and playmakers around him he's ever had. This
Yeah.
is his year to
Oh,
go out and
easily.
prove it.
easily. With Andrews, Odell, and
Zay Flowers,
Yeah. And Zay Flowers is good. And
Rashad Bateman's still there.
I heard he's way better than that guy the Chargers took.
Quentin Johnson.
Yeah. I heard he's very overrated. I don't know if that.
Yeah, I was hearing that too.
But yeah, I agree with you, Rank. I think the pressure is on. You got your money, you got your players,
Gotta go out and prove it.
Exactly.
I think he's proven it, but 73.7% win percentage for his career. We'll see.
It's pretty high, actually.
Yeah, this is pretty high. It's
so
higher than a lot of guys. I'll tell you
He
that.
got more money than he won, but less guaranteed. Is that right?
Yeah.
So I wonder.
I'm just
how
happy he got paid, man.
Yeah.
In the NFL too, teams screw over guys so much, so it's kind of a breath of fresh air that a dude who's really just been balling without his team really caring about him finally got paid.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know if we have enough time for talk MLB. We're already at an hour and a half.
Yeah, I feel like we'll go MLB next time.
Yeah.
We got
Go
some birthdays though.
Birthdays.
Yes. So in baseball, we got a couple birthdays today. Some old heads. You remember these, Rank? Homer Bailey
Oh my god,
Great
I love
pitcher.
that man.
and Mr. Ben Revere. Ben Revere's on the run. Happy birthday to him, as well as Austin Meadows and
Oh wow.
the fiery Amir Garrett. We'll show you this clip,
Reds
True, of
pitcher.
him taking on the entirety
Have
of
we
the
still
Pirates
shown
in a
you
brawl.
did we show him the Raguna, the Odor clip yet?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, we'll watch that
We'll
after
show that,
this.
Okay.
And basketball, we have a couple great birthdays. Jeff Hornacek turns 60 today. Tyronn Lue turns 46.
Bunch of great coaches right there.
And
Tyronn Lue's gonna be in
Kings-
Cancun celebrating his birthday.
And Kings forward center star DeMontis Sabonis turns 27 today.
Oh, it's a tough. Well, he's allowed to celebrate.
Yeah, and in football, you just have one guy. We have two guys. First, Jerick McKinnon, solid running back,
Yeah.
and secondly, Dwayne Haskins would have turned 26 today. Rest in peace to
Rest in
Dwayne.
peace.
Peace.
That's all we got for birthdays today, fellas.
Alrighty. Thank you, everybody, again for tuning in. As always, at 1 p.m., Fun in the Locker Room, with your 3 wonderful co-hosts. Make sure to tune in next week. I think next week might be the last show.
Yeah, unless we can get in during senior week. But
yeah, we'll see.
We'll sneak in here.
Uh,
Why
yeah.
not? Yeah.
We
Why not?
might sneak in here. Rank was bringing it up before the show. We still have to do the Jordan LeBron debate that we've been talking about forever. I don't know if we're ready for
Fun in
that.
the Locker Room special right there.
Maybe we'll, like, outside of the radio, record like a 3-hour podcast or something like that.
I need backup if we're doing that.
Yeah, we'll get you another Jordan Stan in here.
I
But
need Woody in here.
yeah. Oh God, that might be too much. As always, thank you for listening on 89.1 FM WXVU. Get ready for the music coming on after this. Make sure to always listen to Villanova student-run radio, but in particular, Fun in the Locker Room on Wednesdays at 1. We'll see you next week.